Alright, let's get started. Welcome to the first episode of what we're going to be calling The Downside. Originally we had something else to call this, but we were worried George Lucas might have something to say about that. Anyway, so what we're going to be doing in these segments is talking about the negativities and the little irritating things that come with driving and living with whatever car we happen to be shooting. So we're starting today with my personal 64 Cadillac Sedan DeVille. Now, a lot of people stop me and ask me to take pictures with this car. So we're going to go give that one number one, the attention. And that's something we're going to be seeing a lot, especially when we get to the Lamborghinis, the Ferraris, and any other big classic cars. You get a lot of attention. Now, normally we love this kind of thing. We love talking about our cars. But sometimes it can get really freaking annoying. Like, you'll get people shouting at you off the sidewalk, trying to catch you in gas stations. And we all love talking about our cars. But some people just, they stop you, you're trying to get to a car show, or you're trying to get home from a car show, or whatever you happen to be doing. And it's just freaking irritating sometimes. So that's one, you get a lot of attention. Number two, this car has no side mirrors. Okay, there's a little disc here that's probably, I don't know, 4 inches in diameter. But that's just not enough. This car is 20 feet long, and I barely get shit out of that. So, I mean, yes, okay, it does give me some idea if someone's there, but this car has no pillars. I don't know if you can see that, but there's no pillar here behind me, so I really don't have a blind spot. Moving on to number three, it's not a downside per se of this car, but it's a downside of living with this car. Because I'm not used to having mirrors on both sides, it's really hard for me to go back to cars that have massive blind spots. Because I normally will just look over my shoulder, and that will be that. But when I get into a Lamborghini or Ferrari or any other mid-engine sports car, I can't see. And I have to rely on the mirrors, which is annoying because I'm used to driving without them. Number four, this car is 20 feet long. 20 feet long. Parallel parking this car anywhere is simply not possible. And not that you normally parallel park a car like this, but every now and again it happens. Like, this car doesn't actually fit in my garage, so it has to stay outside. And it also is a pain in the ass to get up the driveway, and people can't get out if my car is in the driveway. So we have to leave it on the street. And parallel parking in front of my house, holy crap. Not fun. Right, so, number five. And yes, we did jump cut. I flubbed up my lines, and I figured I might as well go someplace where the scenery is a little bit nicer if I was going to have to cut anyway. So, number five. This is just one that you would not notice unless you owned this car. I am scatterbrained. I will admit that all day long. So, I can actually walk out of this car with it left in neutral. I always put on the parking brake because that's just me. But this car, unlike a modern car, doesn't have any sort of lockout that forces you to keep it in gear. So you can, in fact, leave it in neutral, handbrake off. Well, foot brake, it's foot brake. You can leave that off, leave the car in neutral, and walk away with the keys in your pocket. Not the smartest thing to do, but something that you can do. And it is slightly annoying because if you leave it, say, in drive or reverse because you were parking it, and you just turned off the key and walked out, when you come back the car won't start, you'll be freaking out, especially because it's an old car and these classics, well, there's a reason most people don't daily drive these. So that can be annoying. You'll be thinking your battery's dead, your starter motor is not working, when in reality you just forgot to put the lever in the right position. Number six should be pretty obvious with a car like this. It's got a 429 cubic inch V8, which is 7.4 liters, as any of you who actually paid attention during the full episode would know. So this car, I actually haven't bothered doing the math to find out how bad the gas mileage is on this car, but in one morning I filled this car up, went to get my buddy, went to a car show, dropped him off, and this was a local car show, mind you, maybe like 5-6 miles away, and he lives a little bit further than that, so maybe a total of 30-40 miles plus hills, and I was down half a tank. This car just eats a lot of gas. Number 7. This car has massive overhangs over the back wheels. I'd say from the back wheels to the actual back of the car is probably about 2 feet worth of overhang. And this car rides pretty high, but that still will scrape if you go into a driveway that's too steep. Also, talking about bottoming me out, number 8, this car is such a great suspension. I love it. It just rides like a freaking cloud. But if you're going through some rough areas, like around here, there's some areas that have landslides, and the road just goes all over the place. And if you go over one of those little dips too quickly, the car, even with just me in it, will bounce down, bottom out, and that just makes a hideous noise. So far, I haven't broken anything doing that, but when you're bouncing around like that, it's always a possibility. Well, I hope you guys found this video informative. You know, this isn't a bash on Cadillacs at all. I'm wearing my Cadillac shirt, flying a flag. I love this car to death, but everything in life has downsides. So if you did like this video, like, subscribe, all that bull. And why don't you drop in on Facebook, Twitter, or Instagram? Links are right here. Peace.